Okay, take two. This did not work on the Substack. So, happy birthday, Wizard of Oz, which premiered August 15th, 1939. Earlier on the radio, there was a piano rendition of Oh, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I was thinking about how incredible it is that there's an Odyssey-like narrative of a young girl's journey home. So Dorothy collects friends along the way. She's very collaborative and relational in the ways that she is trying to get home to her loved ones. She's very inclusive and invitational. She invites the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion to come with her to meet the Great and Terrible Oz. And come to find out, she possesses the means to go home the entire time because the red shoes on her feet are what will take her home. Let's contrast that with Odysseus, he who started with a crew of men following his leadership, all of whom he lost along the way because of his need to be responsible and in control of everyone's fates. He ends up washed up on the island with Calypso for Lord knows how long, and finally when she releases him, what does she say? You gotta let go of control. Surrender. And for the first time, he just releases his need to be responsible for everything. He lays himself on the raft, and in the movie, they don't even show how he gets home. He just somehow washes up on shore. I mean, that's such a contrast from all the other detailed scenarios of him fighting at Troy and then coming home on the ship with his men and going through all of their challenges, right? So the hero's journey home, interesting. Surrender, release, control. The shero's journey home, interesting. She thinks she needs to include everyone. She thinks she needs the help and permission of the Great and Terrible Oz. But the whole time, those ruby red sparkling shoes were the ticket, and all she had to do was click her heels and say there's no place like home. Speaking of male protagonists who are striving and searching for what they think they need, look at the Scarecrow, who thinks he's not smart but is actually very brilliant and quick on his feet to think through a solution in real time every time something comes up. Look at the Tin Man, who thinks he has no heart but is so emotional and feeling. And the Cowardly Lion, he is a bit of a coward. He could use a little bit of the courage he seeks. But look at how Dorothy collects these friends, and look at how she herself displays such heart and courage and a mind of her own, which is, hey, I gotta get home, right? The super interesting thing is her last conversation with Glinda the Good Witch is she's basically saying, what I wanted wasn't missing. I had it in my own backyard the whole time, but I wanted to go out in search of it. So there's some pretty interesting themes around wanting something more from our life, right? She goes out and searches for it, and then home calls her back. She has a sense of responsibility for those she collects on the way, and her dog Toto. She has a sense of responsibility towards her family. Ulysses, on the other hand, leaves out of a sense of duty and responsibility to fight, and then doesn't want to come home to his duty and his responsibility until he has been stripped bare of his men, his looks, his youth, his strength, basically his pride, right? He comes home as a beggar in the movie version. And so, what does this say about sort of the journeys we need to take and what we think we're missing, but maybe we have all along, or the things that we think we need to seek, but actually need to surrender? So, food for thought, and I'll try to record better next time.